Let's start off with a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche, who says, "He who has a why to live for can bear with almost any how." And when we're talking about religions and systems of belief, really in the who, what, where, why, when, and how of it all, it's the why that's the most important. It's the reason why we are living. And as I'm proposing throughout my entire channel and all my videos that atheist humanism is the best and truest system of beliefs of it all, then we need to look at the why behind atheist humanism. Well, first of all, I want to ask you the question that is so salient when it comes to the why, and that is, are we seriously that selfish? In my culture, monotheistic religions, Judeo-Christianity and Islam, these are the religions that dominate my world. And when those religions answer the question of why are we living, what are we doing here? Well, inevitably, the answer comes down to you. It comes down to your life and the importance of your life. Because in the end, what these religions promote is that if you live a good life, if you do good things, then you will be rewarded with heaven, with some sort of magical dinner with your dead dog and your grandmother and the greatest turkey of all time, and maybe even Jimi Hendrix if you want to hang out with him as well. In other words, Christianity and Islam mostly, and that's, 1/3 of the world's population follow these religions, basically tell you that your life is the most important thing out there. You need to deal with you first because God is going to question you about what you did. Are we seriously that selfish? Monotheistic religions offer very little proof for this. Now, I know there's been some research on reincarnation, the legitimacy of that. There's all sorts of accounts of, people dying and seeing a white light at the end of a tunnel, or maybe even someone saw the devil with a pitchfork kind of thing. But what I think your afterlife will be and my afterlife will be, where we go when we die, well, I kind of use the scientific method on this one, and the only real proof that we have for where we go after we die is where we were before we were born. We all have that experience. We share that in common. And where is that? What is that? It's nothing. A blank. An absolute zero. Now, some people actually get freaked out by this, and I understand why. The idea of eternal darkness, of eternal nothingness, can be unmoving. It can rattle your emotions. But consider this. Would you rather that or burn in hell for eternity forever? And let's face it, there's like a 50-50 chance, if you believe in heaven or hell, that that could actually become your fate. What I can tell you for sure is that if you want an afterlife where people remember you here on earth, that you are remembered after your life, well, the most assured avenue for this, obviously, is to leave your mark on humanity. Now, this can be through a painting, through music, usually it's through art, or it's through a discovery of some kind, or a contribution to other people. I mean, Leonardo da Vinci, though he's not actually living, is still alive in the sense that we still remember him, we still, discuss his works and so forth. Same can be said with any major historical figure. Though they are physically dead, they are still alive in our society. And that, to me, from what I can see, is the only way that you can continue living in a way after you die. So in the end, why are we here? According to atheist humanism, according to humanism generally, what is the point of life? What is our afterlife? Well, it's very simple. It is the lives of our children. It is the lives of the people who come after us. After our lives, our children will be there. The survival of the species, that's the whole point. When Christianity and Islam and Judaism and all these religions were formulated, they had never seen a picture of the earth from space. Their perspective was from Earth looking out. And I'm sorry, but you know very well that that makes us look very big. And looking very big makes us look very important. But now that we've seen a picture of the earth from around Saturn, which is what Voyager 1 took, we know that we are nothing but a pale blue speck of dust floating in an literally eternal space. How important are we? Can we still stick with the belief that all of this was created for us, and that when we die, the fact that you whacked off or had an abortion or whatever else will land you in a pit of fire? No. The only assured afterlife is the lives of our children, the survival of our species, and to me, this is an afterlife absolutely worth fighting for. Are we really that selfish? I mean, how can we put all the focus on us when clearly, when you look at the pale blue dot, the speck of dust, our Earth from space, it doesn't matter whether one person dies or not. It doesn't even matter if our species as a whole dies. Nothing will change in the universe if the human race is wiped out completely. We have to make sure, it is our job to make sure that the Earth can sustain life for a long enough period of time for our children and their children and their children to have life, laughter, happiness, and to be able to see the beauty of this Earth. I mean, Stephen Hawking, the world's most intelligent man, a few years ago affirmed that the way we're going now, the way we abuse natural resources here on Earth, there's no way that we can continue living on Earth. We're going to have to find another planet to live on. This isn't necessary. We can organize our society better so that our children can have a future. And the first step to doing that is to stop looking at our navels and to start looking outward, to start looking at ourselves from outside in. That's how we realize what's actually important. Listen, I don't have children. And yet, to me, the idea of living for our children and their children gives me, personally, more than enough reason to live. It is genetically hardwired within us. We need to stop believing the fantasies of our own self-importance and realize that it is the group of humanity that is important in the end.